And joining me now via Zoom from Osun State here in Nigeria to discuss this huge challenge Morocco is battling with and other climatic issues is a senior lecturer of the Redeemers University, Dr. Ekundayo Adekbehin. Good to have you join us.
Thank you very much, for having me.
Let me start by getting your assessment of the devastating situation in Morocco.
Well, it's a rather unfortunate situation. Of course, earthquake, like every other natural hazard, are things that happen from now and then. But the impact of this particular earthquake is so devastating because of its intensity. So many lives have been lost, properties have been destroyed. So it's rather an unfortunate thing. The major challenge about it is actually the fact that as of now, so many souls are actually still trapped under the rubble of collapsed buildings, and fears are that there may be some follow-up earthquake that could result even after this. So I think it really made the situation very, very disastrous. Thank you.
And in the wake of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, there were criticisms that followed talked about how government failed to put things together or put things in place, whether in terms of rescue or preparation for what was going to happen. And I'm saying this because I want to ask you: is there a way to predict? Because I know people can predict hurricanes and volcanoes and all that, but is there a way to predict an earthquake? And what can be done, in terms of rescue?
Well, when we talk about natural hazards and earthquake in particular, there are a lot that could be done, of course. Earthquake could be predicted to an extent. Technology has improved. We can predict to a greater extent areas that are vulnerable. But of course, as much as prediction could be done, we must also understand that science has some limitations. So the exact time that it will occur may not actually be something we can actually come up with. But however, in terms of preparedness, there are a lot that the countries could have done. And this is not limited to them. As much countries that are within the seismic zones, because the truth is Morocco is actually within the seismic zone of the world, especially in Africa. They are within an area where they are so vulnerable to having repeated occurrence of earthquakes. So a country within that kind of environment could do a lot by putting a preparedness plan in place. In the event that there is an earthquake, what are the things put in place in terms of rescue team, in terms of welfare, in terms of providing houses for people who could be victims of such an occurrence. So there are a lot that could have been done, but however, the limit is there as to predicting the exact time that such an earthquake could have occurred, which to an extent could have actually helped to reduce mortality if that could be done. Most of the information we have as of now, technically, are from the U.S. Geological Survey, which actually points to the fact that locally there is a lot that needs to be done in terms of the capacity of the nation to predict earthquake in their area. Thank you.
Thank you so much for talking to us, Senior Lecturer of the Redeemers University, Dr. Ekundayo Adekbehin.
It's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much for having me.